Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joe at Work. So it's the end of the season. Gunners or the Gooners on top of the table. Really excited about that 22-year wait. Glad that that's over. Lost in the Champions League final, but Hope Horizon definitely feel like this team's on to some bigger and better things. And I don't think it'll be 20 years before they get to a final. I think they're going to win a Champions League final here soon. So, hey, we're on the up and up. And the World Cup starts in a few weeks. I could rant about the prices of tickets, but maybe that'll be for another vlog. So, welcome again to Joy at Work, where we talk about things that we can do as individuals and collectively to experience joy at work or identify the things that are preventing us from experiencing joy at work and then maybe do something about it. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. These videos are 5 minutes or less, straight to the point, I think. But it's my reflections on the fly, no notes, not scripted, on the fly, what I think about a certain topic. And I was going to continue this notion of how we're formed in the workplace by talking about workplace bullying. But as I began to reflect on workplace bullying, I felt like that was just going for a home run, if you want to think about it, the worst of the worst. And maybe there is something worse than bullying, which is actual physical violence towards somebody. And I will talk about workplace bullying because it does happen and people do experience it. But I wanted to talk about something that I think is a little bit more innocuous and we don't talk about enough, but we accept and we just allow and just let it go because I see it all the time, especially with people in positions of power. And that is workplace incivility. And this is when we act towards people in ways that show little respect to them, are rude, are demeaning, and ultimately it hurts that person and harms that person. You can't tell whether the person who's doing it to you necessarily intended for that to be the outcome, but that doesn't matter. It's what it actually leads to that's important. So, workplace incivility is a thing, and it's very common. It's more common than we would probably want to acknowledge. Now, I need to be clear here. Like everybody interrupts when they shouldn't have or is rude, right? That's part of being human. That happens. But incivility is this repeated, constant demonstration of these behaviors where somebody repeatedly cuts you off or repeatedly interrupts you. And people may not be uncivil in certain forums. They may hide it when certain people are in the room, but when they meet with other people, it comes out because maybe they think that they're better than that person, they think they're smarter than that person, or what's more common is a power asymmetry that exists. I've been in places when people start to talk and somebody with greater power just cuts them off, shuts them off, not once, not twice, but several times. That's workplace incivility. And if you're in a situation where you're experiencing that, it's really hard in those moments to experience or to feel joy at work. And if you're someone who delivers that, you clearly have no interest in people experiencing joy at work. And shame on you for like constantly doing that. But the painful part about this, as I read the literature and I talk to people in orgs, is that workplace incivility often goes unchecked, especially when it's exhibited or demonstrated or done by people in the highest positions of power in an organization. We say things, oh, that's the way they are, that's their style. We almost make it that way. We almost allow for it by saying, oh, that's something unique about them. But that shouldn't be acceptable. And I often ask the question, if the tables were reversed, would they be accepting of that behavior? Another test of this incivility is, does this person do it to people in positions of higher authority or power? And the answer is no. Like they don't interrupt people or cut them off. They're very picky. They know the right people to do this to. People that can't respond in kind because of this power imbalance that we have in our organizations. So, workplace incivility is a thing. It happens a lot. Some people perpetuate it or perpetrators of it, and this should not be acceptable. I think in the next videos, we'll think about how we can respond to this, especially if we're on the receiving end of it. But if you're on the dishing end of it, I'm challenging you to think about showing up a little bit differently. You don't have to be mean, be rude to people, even if you don't like them. There are alternatives. All right. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe or share this with somebody else. And tell me, what do you think about workplace incivility? What's been your experience? How have you addressed it? Bye.